Republicans go into convention on May 8th. So we're trying to get these interviews done so that they can find and place delegates where they need to in time to do that. Today is the 6th of April. So we're trying to make sure that we get this out so that they can use it and that the people who support the Spirit of VMI Political Action Committee can also use it so they can make better informed decisions. My name is Matt Daniel. I'm the chairman of the Spirit of VMI Political Action Committee. We're at https://thespiritofvmi.org. And we're also on Facebook and Instagram and all those social media outlets. We're founded to support VMI, to help ensure that we have a strong VMI for generations to come and promote the idea that VMI is good. So we have here Senator Amanda Chase. Hello, Senator Chase.
Hi, how are you? Good to see you, Matt.
Thank you for doing this. And can I call you Amanda? Is that better? It'll flow better.
Absolutely.
Okay. So we send out, as we will do, we send out the same exact questions to any of the candidates. These questions are not meant to trip anybody up. And in that spirit, we don't even respond with any follow-up questions. They're just 8 basic questions with a couple of spinoffs on those questions. We sent those out for this interview on Friday before Easter, and with some contextual references too for anybody who may not be familiar with VMI. If you're not an expert at VMI, there's a lot of stuff that goes on, a lot of context. So this probably won't last all that long, 15, 20, 25 minutes, maybe max, and we'll cap it at 30. Rules of engagement are basically I read the question, you answer the question, and if we have any follow-up questions, then we can deal with those as necessary, but not really a discussion. Let you talk and I just listen. Pretty much it. Did you get the questions that we sent out?
I'm looking at them right now. I'm looking at them for the first time now, but you know what? That's how I roll. It's all
right. All right. Okay.
You're going to see me think quick on my feet, Matt.
Okay. Well, that's good. So then I'll just go ahead and start with the easy ones that are kind of yes, no. Have you ever been to VMI in Lexington? Have you been on post, a campus at VMI?
So to answer your question, I was a Virginia Tech graduate, and I'm sure somewhere along the way when I was at college at Virginia Tech, I have been to VMI. It just not right off, but I know a lot about VMI. I have a lot of friends who have graduated from VMI. I have a lot of my children's friends that have been involved in VMI, a lot of donors involved with VMI. And I've actually supported VMI with a lot of legislation that's been put forward. A lot of different issues, whether we're talking about Second Amendment issues or protecting the culture. At VMI, I've been 100% behind you all legislatively. And I think it is so important not just to hear rhetoric from candidates running for governor, but of all the candidates, and there are 7 that are running, I am the one conservative legislator that has spoken in favor of our heritage. And I think that really differentiates me from whether we're talking about monuments, whether we're talking about our heritage, not hate. I've stood up and debated some pretty controversial issues successfully. And, a lot of people want to turn our culture into racism, and I reject that notion altogether. And I have a feeling that's probably why you all are creating this PAC and, making sure that whenever you are interviewing and deciding which legislators to get behind, you want one that's going to be user friendly and that doesn't vote for taking down our monuments. I mean, how ridiculous is that? And I would never support that. And one thing you'll learn about me is I'm not politically correct, and I don't apologize for being that way. I stood up on the floor of the Senate and I said, we need to protect our Confederate monuments. I mean, really? It's a First Amendment free speech right. I'm just going to cut to the chase because I know what all the questions are geared toward. I am going to protect your heritage. You do not have to take down your monuments. Y'all should be able to exercise your Second Amendment rights. And I even support Second Amendment carrying on campus. I mean, I do. I'm probably the only legislator that's running for governor that concealed carries, for instance. It's intrinsic to who we are as people. I'm from even more of a South state. I was born in Sheffield, Alabama. And I believe, God, guns, and our military. I mean, I fully support our military. In fact, I've introduced legislation that would exempt our military retirement, so that I want to encourage having military to stay in Virginia instead of moving to other states. And by exempting their retirement benefits from state income tax, I hope to keep them here. So
we're going to gently weave through some of those topics that you talked about, maybe not quite as deep. The PAC is a single issue sort of PAC, so we'll try to stay as focused on the VMI things as we can. So the questions will be basically around much of what you talked about, but maybe not some of it. So you know some VMI graduates that
absolutely.
Okay, and what's been your impression of people who have gone to VMI?
Well, number one, they are professional, they're disciplined, respectful, patriotic. I'm going to go back to well-disciplined. I mean, there's some of my, just neatly kept, neatly dressed. I mean, I'm a mom of 4 teenage boys, so I really respect having it cleanliness, being neat. And, I feel like they teach really good life skills in general, so that one of my good friends, female, one of the first to graduate as a female from VMI. She's a good friend of mine and works for Capital One. And so I think it's great that that discipline, super smart, but just disciplined and shows respect, patriotic, all those things that I wish we would see more of in our public schools, quite honestly. Just that tradition.
So do you think then that VMI is a valuable resource to the Commonwealth, and then by extension to the state, to the nation as well?
Absolutely.
Okay. And as governor, would you be willing to veto budgets that would threaten VMI?
Absolutely, have my word. And I've done it in the Senate of Virginia. I voted against the current budget.
Yeah, I mean, in the context that we sent you, there's a sort of a value proposition of what VMI has produced. I don't know if you've had a chance to take a look at the outcomes that VMI has produced over the decades, over the years, and look at the investment that the state makes. And so that question kind of goes, well, does it meet the value proposition that it should?
Absolutely. You get a great return on investment.
Right. Are you familiar with the rat line at VMI?
I am, yes.
Okay. And so it's for anybody who's listening who's not, the rat line is basically the crucible that all freshmen go through to enhance, discipline, get everything taken away from you before you get it given back again to you, granted back to you again. And that helps to enable a cohesive class, and then a cohesive core, especially the freshmen and the seniors. So that as a discipline mechanism, do you see that as a valuable resource, the rat line?
Absolutely. And let me just tell you something, as a mother of 4, 3 of which are boys, I'm all for it.
Right. Okay. Sort of a boot campy sort of thing. Right.
I have my own boot camp at my house.
Yeah. That doesn't surprise me. I'm sure my kids would say the same thing about what happened with our house too. So the next question would be relevant to the issue that is probably the most popular these days, talking about VMI and where it needs to be changed or enhancements made or whatever. But it's the VMI Honor System. Are you familiar with the VMI Honor System?
I am familiar enough to know that we have a bunch of liberals coming in trying to change everything we're doing, our way of life, how we discipline our kids, what kind of education our kids are supposed to have. Listen, I support parental rights. And if you want to have a child that is disciplined and understands history and respects their country, why would you change the honor code? I'm sick and tired of us dumbing down education. We need to raise the bar, not lower it. Listen, I homeschooled my kids for 9 years, and my kids literally did go through boot camp. But I have grown adults who don't live in my house anymore, except for the youngest. He's at Liberty University. And quite honestly, I've said I'm going to completely overhaul our public education. It's, forgive the sophisticated term, but it's crap. We have got to stop the liberal indoctrination that's going on in our schools. We need to go back to being disciplined and teaching kids discipline, help them. They need to learn the Pledge of Allegiance. They need to learn honor and respect of our flag and of our country and our traditional values that you and I grew up with. And what's happened is we had the teachers unions and the liberal left who hijacked the teachers unions to completely alter and tear down our educational foundations. And it is beyond the pale. I'm going to have to completely overhaul, as Virginia's next governor, our education system and get us back so that we're competitive with other countries. It's terrible what we're looking at right now. So I applaud VMI for their honor code, for raising the bar and not lowering it when public schools and are doing so. I mean, quite honestly. And they're looking around at other students that are succeeding, and instead of raising the bar for the public school, they're trying to lower the bar for everyone else. And I reject that notion. Keep the bar high.
You've seen that there have been calls for VMI to change the honor system in one regard or another. Do you think that the honor code, the honor code is a single sanctioned honor code, and you can state it in one word, a cadet will not lie, cheat, steal, or tolerate those who do. Do you think that the honor code requires any changes from what you know about it?
No, the only thing I would change is allow the governor, lieutenant governor, all the members of the General Assembly to make that same honor code pledge. I think Virginia would be a much better place.
Okay, thank you. The VMI Board of Visitors, it's the sort of the oversight of VMI. They're appointed by the governor. They are approved by the General Assembly. There's 16 members of the Board of Visitors. If I said governors, I meant Board of Visitors. And its construct is, maybe you're very familiar with them. I don't know. But if you are, do you think that structure should be changed, or do you not think so? Is it okay the way that it stands?
Listen, I've never had any issues with VMI ever, period. And if it's not broken, why do you need to fix it? Okay,
fair enough. And that brings me to the last question, which is, the governor said in the fall that VMI there is a clear and appalling culture of ongoing structural racism at VMI, and basically an accusatory type of statement. As governor, what actions would you take, or what action would you consider to take to correct any of the actions and or attitudes, statements that the current governor has taken toward VMI?
Well, number one, I would have to say consider the source. I mean, you have a governor right now who is riddled with scandals related to race, and I believe that he's trying to apologize for his past and taking it out on everyone else, to be quite honest with you. I don't believe, I've never seen systemic racism or any of that. I think that's a created term by the left, who is actually the ones that are being the racists themselves. And if we want to, take Governor Northam to task, we can take a look at his 2-year budget. And I will tell you, there's government sponsored racism all through there. We're not treating people as equals in the Virginia budget. It's government sponsored racism is what it is. These mandatory quotas, it's not based on merit. I would totally change that. Scholarship should be based on merit, not the color of your skin. And we will end that practice here in Virginia under a Chase administration. It's not, under the current philosophy, it's some people are treated more equally than others, quite frankly. So I would put an end to that practice. It should be based on merit, not the color of a person's skin. And I reject the notion that there is racism. In fact, if anything, I would argue that we have reverse racism that's going on in America right now. And I know this from what I've seen in employment with other, instead of being able to hire the best person for the job, people are being forced to hire someone based on the color of the skin, not their credentials. That's wrong. And so, I get it. I think we've kind of overcorrected as a society, and it's time to treat everybody equally. Excuse me just a minute. I'm doing an interview. Please stop. I'm in my house. Sorry.
That's okay. And that's the last question that I have. I really appreciate your time. What will happen with this video is we will crunch it and then publish it and put it on our social media, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, all those things that are out, Rumble, those things that are out there that we have accounts, even Twitter, and obviously send you and Debbie a copy of this so that you can see it, and hopefully it's some value to you, and certainly will be some value to the people who follow and support what we're trying to do at VMI, or for VMI as well. But any last follow-away jumpers or parting shots?
Sure. So let me just say this. We have a lot of great people who are running for governor right now. There's 7 candidates running. I announced early, I've been running for over a year for a reason. I've been in the front lines for a number of years. I'm a second-term state senator. I've been in the Senate. This is my 7th year. I understand what the issues are, and I've been an outspoken voice for preserving our heritage, our culture, standing up against this cancel culture that is trying to cancel every part of our society. And I'm one of the few people that's actually had the backbone to stand up to those that want to cancel our culture. And I feel like that's what I've seen going on in the last 2 to 3 years is the cancel culture. The governor has weaponized that and used it against VMI. And it's really made me angry, to be quite honest with you. I think VMI has done a great job of, look at the outcome, look at the product of young men and women who are coming out of VMI and professional. And really, every parent would want their child to come out of VMI with not only the education, but the life skills, the discipline. That's just a great strategy for life in general, and why anybody, including a current governor, would want to do anything to impede that, I think is giving in to the cancel culture, the peer pressure of the cancel culture. As Virginia's next governor, I'm not going to tolerate any of that. I will put as I've done in the Senate, I have put an end to that, and I reject that notion. And I hope you enjoy hearing my dog squeaking his squeak toy.
I thought maybe it's now gobbler season. Maybe it was a turkey call, but spring gobbler season. Well, thank you very much for all this, and we'll send this to you. And good luck with the endeavors that you have. And we look forward to talking to you again sometime.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amanda. Okay, bye-bye.